update. On September 8th, the 5 new project skins will break free from the PvE and hit the live client. In addition to the skin's unique particles and animations, you can also unleash special project minions onto the Rift when you sync up skins with your team. Now, for a full download, head to LeagueofLegends.com. Well, now let's jump back into our series between Cloud9 and Gravity. Gentlemen, we're staying on the same sides. Cloud9 on blue, Gravity on red. Down the line, what are the changes we expect to see coming into Game 2?
Yeah, I think Cloud9 has the most potential to make change because I did feel like there were a few bans they could easily have first picked. Specifically, the Lulu ban is something they might drop. Yeah. But mainly, I'm not expecting drastic changes because the game was still pretty close. So I think both teams, whether they want to make improvements, a lot of those improvements are on the side of just in-game play and maybe not that many strategic things. If anything, the emphasis is on Cloud9 to change.
I want to see, so we brought up the point that usually Cloud9 is ahead in the early game. I want to see High play a more like early game jungler. I think it will allow Cloud9 to have like more playmaking potential. It can be, we still saw Elise was up, we saw Echo was open, Rek'Sai is open. There's a lot of tools for him to use. So I hope he's not gonna pick a Mumu again. Maybe if he does, some better execution, but yeah.
Even back to his Shyvana, right?
Yeah.
Which he was able to farm very well on.
And that's the interesting thing is actually, I agree with you, Jet, like we were going to see C9 change their strategy. I think they realized that strategy game 1 was actually responded to fairly well, so find a new one and see if Gravity can respond to that one, because you're going to find something that doesn't match up against your opponents. But as far as like High's pool, like his wins are on like not great early game champions. Rangard is nothing pre-6, Shyvana is nothing pre-6. Those are his wins right here, so I'm curious to see if he keeps playing a more sort of farm-style ult-centric jungler anyway.
The 9-0 dream is dead.
The 9-0 dream is dead.
9-6 dream, 9-1 dream.
Right.
Like everything works. Yeah. 9 wins.
As long as you win, you get 9.
Exactly. As long as you get 9 wins. Well, as we send it over to the casters for the play-by-play, Sneaky says he and the rest of Cloud9 aren't afraid of Gravity's versatility in champ select.
Gravity likes to take a lot of different random picks, specifically Keen, but the other players throw different stuff out too. And that doesn't work as well in best 5 setting because even if you win one game with it, then the next game you have a chance to take it out or remove it, make sure you can't get affected by it again. So that may hurt them as well as just them maybe having internal issues. I don't really know.
Then you just do it 5 times. You hope you have 5 different picks to bring out. They only get 3 bans, Riv.
I don't know. It seems like they tried to almost do that.
That's
pick
true.
Some crazy random things, put it in the composition. But I said, as I said before, I like that. You try to get them uncomfortable. You play on some things that are outside the box. If it doesn't work, fall back to comfort.
Yeah, but that seemed like comfort there for Gravity. Playing the Altec, bringing Move down, ganking a lot more than we had seen him gank in previous games. Remember, Move was the guy who was the vision jungler, and he always warded around top lane and helped Hanser out. That was the big thing that enabled Hanser to be a big playmaker. Hanser was able to hold that lane by himself, and then Move was able to just keep going to the bot lane over and over again.
And it was going to be a difficult lane for Incarnation to even go to because you have Keen just Victor lasering the lane. You're going to fall behind if you try to TP down, where I thought most of the plays were going to be coming from. You just turned it into 2 kills for somebody as you get down there. But good play by Gravity around the map. They avoided everything. Let's see if they can get through picks and bans getting what they want once again. Cloud9, as we said, still on blue. Gravity on the red side all games.
And the Braum ban coming in here.
It's gone.
For Cloud9. Instead of, I'm trying to remember what their
That was a Lulu.
That was right, it was a Lulu. So they could pick that up for themselves.
And they were
like
saying
Jab
they
was
should
saying.
drop the Lulu. Right, absolutely. So following in Jat's footsteps so far of what he would do. And we have one more ban coming in from Gravity. What do they focus? Incarnation didn't show too much, but still going to be the Azir anyways.
There you go.
And there's the Lulu.
They're listening in on the analyst desk. They're hearing it all.
Great pickup by them. And Incarnation is going to be very safe in the mid lane. They can get that wherever they want.
This is also a very safe top laner, too, if it's for balls. So right now, Gravity is going to wait. They'll most likely last pick their mid laner to see where that Lulu is going to go as the flex pick. But it looks like Move for the Gragas once again. Really good pickup here for him. It had that early game pressure, so it would be on High to match that.
What has High played now within the last few weeks? What's he been able to put under his belt? As like Freak said, we saw a lot of those early game, or not early game junglers, but junglers that have a weak early game and then turn on at 6. So See if he has to shy away from that here to keep the team going in this best of 5. Rumble and Gragas still being hovered. Move would be able to keep the same jungler from game to game, which always feels nice for any player. And Ashe, again, is going to be prioritized here by Gravity for Alltech.
This leaves Tristana for Sneaky for the most part. He could go to Jinx. He could go for Kog'Maw now that they have the Lulu. Kog'Maw up against the Gragas, you always risk getting engaged into the team. Usually you do want the Gragas on your own team or Lee Sin when you're running Protect the Kog'Maw. There's some other good junglers out there too for it now. But I like that Lulu pick. Want to see where it goes. Want to see what they build around it. And the fact that you locked in your AD carry so early on, you didn't deny the Kog'Maw from them. You went with your own Ashe here. Means that you have pick potential too. They once again have this pick.
Where are the picks as well for balls? Where's the Olaf right here, right? You run through the Ashe, get into the team. If it works, if you can still synergize around that, you have the Lulu already.
That is very true. Lulu was somebody that we saw enable Olaf to be this gigantic rundown. That is a great point, Riv.
Oh, we haven't seen balls go on too many more champions than Gnar, Maokai, and that Rumble. But it's going to be the Trist Karma pickup again. They stay tried and true to that too. And Cloud9 does not divert from that bot lane.
I would actually love an Olaf right about now.
Why not?
There's so many speed ups.
More speed, more shield. Get it going. Throw some axes. Why not? Be a Viking for a game. Well, Gravity, Cloud9 is definitely picking faster than usual. They're not letting the time run all the way out here. And Gravity is doing that. Now with the Alistar in this game, they chose the Braum last time. With that being out, Bunnyfu has definitely gone towards the Alistar more than not.
Yeah, he goes towards the Alistar. He goes towards the
Shen is there as well.
The Shen, as well as having Thresh. So the Braum ban isn't really just taxing his champion pool. He still has champions that accomplish very similar things for his team. He could always go back on the Janna too, but it is going to be the Alistar here, and Haunter once again, top lane pick. Like I said, the last pick, their mid laner, because they want to know where this Lulu is going exactly before they figure out who it's going to be.
Gravity, as they said though, go back to more kind of fixed things, as Alltech was saying. They're not trying to flex too many picks here coming into this best of 5 series. Much more organized and kind of laid out compositions that we see from them on the red side. Cloud9's trying to decipher that. What do we want to play against this? A lot of crowd control in the Gragas, the Alistar, the Gnar. May even be hard for an Olaf to get through that with Ragnarok not lasting that long.
You see how much Bubadov is actually talking in this champion select. He gives a lot of the power over to Lemonation, who's on your screen right there.
It shifted quite a bit when they changed. Back to having Lemon in the notebook more than kind of Charlie having the last say in things. The team seems to be a little more sure about those.
Okay.
The Amumu, once again, you know, you can go for it. The Yasuo gets picked up. That means this Lulu should go to the mid lane, Yasuo to the top lane. So we may see balls get aggressive here on a champion.
But here's the thing is you still don't know 100% on Gravity's side. This could be a Yasuo to counter the Gnar. It's a really good matchup for Yasuo.
That's what you look for, right?
Or it could be a Yasuo mid for Incarnation to look for the outplays. But regardless, Yasuo is really good because you stop Ashe Arrow. You don't have to take cleanse on your AD carry. You make sure that she can't engage on you guys, and you stop a large part of Gravity's engagement.
I feel like Cloud9 definitely knows what they're doing with the Amumu, but on the other side, Gravity they figured out first game to avoid it. So I think it's going to make it really hard to keep trying to play that. We'll see though. That's just an opinion. Still the pickup here for Keen to get locked in. Why not? Victor seems to make the games quicker lately. Pole Belter did it 3 times in a row. Keen is going to hold that for 2 in a row. And it looks like another Victor in the mid lane here for Gravity.
Yeah, Keen's the guy that we were always like, okay, he's going to pick something wacky. It's Victor again, a very, very standard mid laner right now in the meta. This is the exact same team composition for Gravity, except for Braum is taken out and Alistar's putting in.
They seem pretty confident with the pick ban phase as well. Cloud9 seems again to be testing the waters somewhat, know what they want to do with their composition, but on the stage it becomes much more different. Gravity being risk-averse in the early game fights did not allow Cloud9 to get anything going. We'll see if Move, again, continues to focus the bottom lane if we get another 2v2 matchup and the lanes all match.
They swapped it. They swapped it.
They did at 20 seconds.
It's going to be Incarnation in the mid lane with the Yasuo. It's not a Yasuo top.
On the clock means each team has enough to change runes masteries if necessary for your matchup. And that Yasuo will be Incarnations. Balls takes Lulu to the top lane once again. That will not be a counter for the Gnar. Let's see how this lane goes. Victor versus Yasuo in the mid lane, with that Lulu top now.
Oh man, Gravity, we always think of them as the team that's trying to pull the crazy stuff.
Yep.
Cloud9 though, Amumu 2 games, swapping to Yasuo, it's not top, it's going mid at the last second that you possibly can.
Playing the small mind games. The fights look good. They put together a little bit more of a fight comp here. We'll see if they
Still
can get
no early game
into
pressure,
those,
though.
That's right. See if they get into the skirmishes right away. As the teams load on into the game, head over to Twitter. Let us know who you think will see the victory screen this time. Tweet hashtag C9win or hashtag GVWin, and we'll check back on the fan vote shortly. Another game of Amumu coming in for Cloud9. Pretty much a tell to the comp they want to use throughout the game. And Gravity going with Simple once again. Not trying to flex too much in the champion select. Gragas again for Move. Victor again for Keen. And Ash for Altec. Let's get into game 2. We're on the Rift.
Yeah, in terms of comparing this game to the previous game, there's only 3 different champions. Alistar instead of Braum, then you have the Lulu and the Yasuo now for Cloud9. So overall, the team compositions want to accomplish the exact same thing as before, except now instead of a Diana, you have a different assassin, you have a different fighter in the mid lane.
Gravity again. Kind of mirroring exactly what happened last time here. Walking their way through, getting the wards that they need. Trying to place down that path to Worlds. Something that Cop actually has wanted to do vocally for quite some time. And he may still be able to do it here as Gravity in the NA Regionals.
He was saying if he can't accomplish it as a player, accomplishing it as a coach would be just as good. He just wants to go to Worlds. He wants to compete on that enormous stage with everybody watching.
And he's done a great job to facilitate the Gravity team. Took Bunny under his wing at first, helped him kind of understand the pressure, shot calling, transitioning into that play. And he was already a fantastic player, and somehow Bunny Fufu didn't even decline during that process. May have plateaued a bit, but definitely became a better player in the end.
Yeah, I know it's a very kind of middle of the split story that we kept rehashing, but Bunny Fufu stepping up as a shot caller has been a great transformation, because shot calling is not something that you just pick up immediately. Like, okay, I'm able to lead everybody.
It's a main reason High is back in the game for Cloud9.
Yes.
You can see how much turmoil it caused in that sense. So when you don't have it, things can get very, very chaotic.
It's very difficult. There's so many aspects to being a shot caller. There's different types of shot callers and leaders. But, oh man, same ward.
Same ward.
It's game 1. Did we just load up a replay? Different buff this time.
Well, the shots are definitely being called here in the early game. Fired towards blue buff as well. It doesn't look like Altec and Bunny Fufu are going to get trouble this time. That was really the main result of the last one. Yeah. And then Altec and Bunny Fufu were pushed in. We're going to get switched up lanes this time. We'll see how that results. Full XP going over to High. You can see Balls step away.
That was a little bit greedy from Gravity. They are jungling on their weak side of the map, and Cloud9 strong. So Cloud9 with the 2 members, their AD carry and support, and the lane swap were able to just walk up there and stop them. So it delays them from even double jungling. So Haunster's put behind, Move is put behind. Balls gets there on time, but of course that isn't really like Gravity saying, oh, we're going to try and risk this. It's Gravity saying we didn't have proper vision to know that it was going to be you guys not matching the lane swap, but at the same time, you should play to your strong side. They should have been starting on the top side of the jungle.
Yeah. See how they get out of this. High is making his way to blue. As you can see, Move is backing, so he'll have a bit of a faster clip if he tries to get to a lane. We didn't see any of that from High early game, but it doesn't mean you can't with a Mumu. Bunny just on the side here, making sure that he's kind of acting as a human ward, making sure Altec is safe as well. Doing a good job.
It's the double ranged support lane in the top lane.
It's always fun.
Against an AD carry and a melee support. So you have to watch out for Bunny Fufu's engages, but at the same time, you have to watch for the harassment here from Karma Lulu. This lane will actually poke you out of lane as a top laner in support.
Probably make you blow some summoner spells as well with all the slow they can keep applying on you. Dangerous thing to be up against in the beginning. A few levels should make everything right as Rain, as long as they don't get ganked. Keen pushing Incarnation into the tower. Incarnation kind of using the advance of his minion wave to get a few more attacks in, making sure he doesn't take too much damage himself. Very aggressive here from Incarnation. He's been doing it on with Diana. Follows through again with Yasuo.
I think North America caught Yasuo fever or something. We just keep locking it in. Top, mid, we don't care where it goes.
So it slowly crept in.
Yeah,
Boy plays it on stream, then Alex plays it in the Challenger, and then we start seeing a little more with Zion. All over the place.
Bjergsen says he'll do it.
Yep.
Carnation's like, you know what, I'll do it too. I'm also Danish, let's do it.
All right, we'll see.
Crash is going to bring it into the jungle next. Ah!
Uh-oh. We'll get his opinion on the desk later. So Bunny Fufu has backed off of this lane just a bit to get some roam on. We'll see Lemon Nation join up top as well. Sneaky's farming away. A bit of a lead for Sneaky, but a bit of a lead for Keen on that side. Back and forth for the lanes. And Balls has a bit of a lead on Monster as well.
Move still warding primarily towards the bot side of the map, making sure Dragon is under control, taking that Scuttler. Looking towards mid lane though. Village bot could find a gank there. They're actually lane swapping it back now, and they didn't get a turret with the Tristana. Can't really pressure that Gnar in too much. Close move. Really forced gank though. Oh, okay.
Going in,
Going for the kill.
Ignite here for Incarnation. He actually does not throw down the Ignite. He wanted to make sure he was in range for at least a flash play. But a 2v1 there, not shook at all by the presence of Move in the mid lane.
Oh, hi.
All right.
He knew he was low. He wants to get more.
Absolutely.
And this is a Mumu, right? You really want to get that level 6 over your opponent. Move's still level 3, and that's about a level up, full level at this point.
Also pushing Keen out of that mid lane.
He'll get some lane experience. Move will be all right.
Doesn't look like
About half a level now.
Incarnation gets too much. And Move should be able to pull out of that one. Very quick thinking, though, to get out of the way of High there. His High is always aggressive if he thinks he can make that play. Something you'll always hear. Pretty clear comms from Cloud9 during a fight. And High, not a super loud guy, but always the most vocal. 5s and 4s here as we enter the lane. Altec and Bunny Fufu 4 and 4, so we may see a 6 play at some point. Already Sneaky saying disregard for anything you're going to do here. Starts putting on the auto attack damage. High waiting off in the wing. Doesn't look like they're going to get anything, so not exactly wasted time, but Cloud9 coming up short on anything they're trying to position for just yet.
Thinking about it more and more, this Karma pick for Elimination that he's been favoring in his last 5 games, 5 Karma games. Questioning why a Janna hasn't been brought out here instead. You have good disengage power to keep Sneaky healthy, keep him okay. And you combo that with the explosive charge on turrets. You're taking turrets very quickly. You're trading extremely well too.
Because it's always an easy way. I feel like Lemon Nation thinks of what can I do to keep the target off of me but still play a champion that will easily facilitate a win for my team if necessary.
He's the only one playing Karma.
Exactly, and who's going to ban just Karma against you? You're almost wasting a ban because then you can play Jandy, you can play Brown Thrush. I don't know, there's a little bit of play on both sides there. Pick and ban, as well as him liking the champion overall.
I guess he likes to poke and just dictate the pace of the lane. We haven't been seeing too much of that though. He is just paired with a Tristana who will always constantly shove and do that by herself, honestly. Balls down bottom. It is a Lulu.
Level 6.
He's all right. Have some bubbles.
Shouldn't be too afraid. Throw some glitter on the tuxedo. Oh, a dodge back by Keen there. Fancy Feet keeping himself alive. It wasn't a 6 from High. They were trying to get that, probably hit 6 at that point. But coming up at just a little short there. Still have summoners to go back in if they want. Good pink ward. Placed in a little bit earlier. Keeps Incarnation in a safe spot here. High is floating around. He's trying to bait this in. I think they know it.
Yeah. He wants that pink ward badly. Sometimes you just have to let it go, let it sit for a bit, wait for the position to change with the mid laner before you can go back for that ward. Don't get too greedy for it. That's how kills happen.
So we saw High top lane, then heading towards the mid lane. A little bit of a miss there. Cloud9 still trying to come up with some of these kills. We saw the same thing, but Incarnation on Diana last time. Forced out of lane as soon as King comes up with his ultimate and enough mana to front burst. I don't think you're going to see too much off of this. Cloud9 getting very aggressive.
What was Sneaky thinking?
Without timing anything around the map, the boomerang is going to hit the wind wall. Flash Pulverize is not going to hit. And that's going to be Incarnation's flash as well. Very chaotic coming in for Cloud9 as Gravity picks up kill number 1.
Sneaky Buster shotted him backwards, assuming that Incarnation would be in range to actually use the last breath and get him before he would fly away. But even if he did, that would have been Incarnation's death sentence at the same time.
I really think with the knowledge of Gragas, they made it think he just dipped out, went away. Once you see a jungler mid, sometimes you instantly get ganked after that, right? You're thinking the jungler's doing a camp. Maybe just a little too ahead of themselves. A lot of things could have been the result of that. Looks like Gravity picks up an early lead in this game. Still staying away from Dragon, but were the ones to have 3 last game and come up with the majority of them. So
That's true. Gravity had control before. They get another early kill here
yeah.
off of Move's jungle work. Countering there on the Sneaky's play. Incarnation, though, once again, he's doing well in this mid lane. And Keen is going for the full upgrade again. He's got the second. Very quick on buying these upgrades. It's not what we typically see from Victors, but he prioritizes that utility very heavily at the scaling.
Definitely doing a good job of holding down his lane, that's for sure.
Yeah, he also gives up cooldown reduction, too, to do this.
Almost a play to the top. That gives Altec a chance to back. He's now a BF sword up on Sneaky, and Sneaky still is charging that Avarice Blade. He only has 500 gold in his pocket. Sneaky has a while here. You can see him charging up the gold anyways, so it doesn't look like they're trying to push the lane too quick. High's coming in. I take that back. It looks like they are going to show pressure towards this turret. Try to put damage on it. Bunny Fufu, level 5. Why not go on him? He doesn't have any way to break the CC or ult out. High in a bad spot, though. A good hit coming in from Move as he kind of peeks in and out of the situation to help grab that kill.
Diving the turret is still half HP. They weren't going to kill it during that dive.
They think they're one step ahead, but Gravity lurking in the shadows. Cloud9 with no real forward wards here to allow them to know these are safe plays, but I guess in the long run, they're coming up with a bit. High going down isn't that bad. Still getting items as a Mumu. And they are trying to come back in this one. Gravity, however, pressure around the map as well, playing very well off the ball here. Haunter's still on that bot turret.
Hex Drinker Rush, so cost effective for Nog when he's up against pretty much any AP mage. He's going to be having a really good time. Just more gold onto him, solo gold on the turret.
And here come those forward wards again from Bunny Fufu. 3 of them just placed around that red. Could mean that Dragon's about to get a little love.
And that's so great, too, because you can always see the intent. Just as a spectator here, you always know what Gravity's going to go for next. This team is very calculated in how they approach things. They don't really do anything unless they have absolute ward coverage of that area. It's a very kind of risk-averse but calculated team.
Yeah.
Because they aren't taking risks, because they already evaluate the risk of doing it, and they're like, when it's low enough, we will do it.
It's a bit of a change. They are following what they said. Move, we said, would be more aggressive in the face of the other jungler, not risk-averse. But we're actually seeing him kind of take a back seat to that. Do a little bit more warding here, sweeping as well. As quick as they can to make sure these areas are safe. Gravity's playoff form here, definitely coming out to show, or showing.
Their playoff form ended up falling short. This is their post-playoff, their gauntlet form.
This is true. This is true.
I mean, they're back. They angry they lost. They want to actually get in there. They want to get to Worlds. A lot of these guys have had Worlds aspirations for a while now.
I was also wondering how the longer break would be, because a lot of people said before the week or so off for Gravity, if they had gone right into playoffs, it would have been more fruitful for them. They would have been able to come out with better results. So what would the month do, almost roughly? Would that kind of make them a little too lax, or did they bring out the power here? Looks like they have the strategy so far of textbook. Go back to fundamentals.
Yeah, once again at 10 minutes, Gravity has a gold lead over Cloud9. Basically flipping the script.
Yep.
What we've seen in the season so far with Gravity having deficits and Cloud9 having advantages at 10 and 20. Nope, running into high, move. All these pink wards now, defensively placed from Cloud9. Move, walks into 3 though.
This is kind of what I wanted to see as well, whether it be on any side. If they let Moog clear that ward, Cloud9 was giving them way too much respect, taking him down rightfully as he was trying to clear out a pink alone in the jungle.
I'm just watching Move's tendencies. Every time there's a pink ward, something just clicks in Move, and he's like, I gotta clear this. I have to come back for this ward at some point.
Well, from what's been happening, if I were him, I would have felt like I could have got out of that alive as well. Cloud9 has kind of been inching towards the fight, balking, and then walking away from it, saying, we'll grab something bigger later.
Yeah, but he did the same thing with the pink ward in the left side of mid.
That's true.
Where he just kept wanting to get it. And then eventually Incarnation was like, no, you can't get this ward. And he does it again. If I was Cloud9, just place pink wards forever. This is encouraging me to ward more from Cloud9.
All right, both scrying orbs have been used. Sneaky making sure they have vision to Dragon for a second to see what kind of numbers are there. They only saw both Alistar and Altec, so I don't know if they're going to try to make any moves on an escape kill here. But Sneaky farming in the bot side, trying to get himself big. Actually doesn't have that too big of a lead on Altec, but he has got himself that BF sword, so he can somewhat match in damage.
He's actually got a 300 gold lead at the moment.
So he did go up.
Based off of just the average played.
Keen back to mid, a bit of a CS lead for him as well. On that Victor, once again, must feel very comfortable coming into this game. It looks like they will continue to jockey for Dragon vision, with Dragon not really being there. They want wards. They want to know if anybody's trying to get back into the jungle. Gravity will not allow Cloud9 a foothold here.
They'll probably start changing this to mid or top soon, because those are tier 1 turrets that are still up in both of those lanes. Putting Altec in this bottom lane over and over again, it gives him free farm because you're warding for him, but at the same time, you're avoiding getting an objective.
Speed kill, maybe? You're looking at Altec. He's pretty close. Looks like he should be able to stay far away. More pressure on Keen in the mid lane. Incarnation having the upper hand in this now. His static shiv is finished. You can see that Keen cannot really stand toe-to-toe there, even with the blue buff. Calls for some reinforcements, and it doesn't look like anything will come of this with a ward in a nice spot. So where do we see the game panning out from here, Zyrene? Cloud9 seems to be farming up. They want Sneaky to be big. What can Gravity do to stop this?
Yeah, it looks like it might also be Zeke's Herald coming in, or Zeke's Harbinger coming in from Elimination soon. But what Gravity can do is they can actually just swap their bottom lane to the top lane. They bring Hanser back down the bottom, or they just put Altec in the top lane. They put somebody in the lane that they can siege, but they're avoiding grouping up because they don't want to put everybody where High can get to them and then Incarnation can combo. So they're still trying to split while getting objectives, but right now, all they're doing is pretty much treading water. And Cloud9 have now slowly gotten a gold advantage, about 300 gold over them. This Avarice Blade is just paying off.
Here's a bit of that rotation. Good push on the mid lane. Is this going to be an explosive charge tacked onto it as well? It looks like Move was able to deter Sneaky from approaching the turret there. Lemon and Sneaky just made the trip up the river to do some damage there, but good move by Altec as well, or I should say Gravity and the rest of the team adapting to what Cloud9 was trying to put down.
Yep, Gravity actually having less wards on the map than Cloud9. Cloud9 putting in a lot of effort this game. You see Bunny Fufu doesn't have his Sightstone completed just yet. He's been hand buying wards.
Let's see what path Balls takes to get down here. It looks like he'll only join the team. Really no flank you're going to get out of Lulu. Rod of Ages Lulu as well, getting himself big. 17 minutes in, High using his Raptor buff to try and clear some wards out. Finally getting that vision of Gravity away from them. High has not really been able to effectively use a Mumu. Like, the team has been in position for a few, but Fog of War is not there for them. Gravity has too many wards to make this already. I don't think ward having to be cleared. I think he might get this one.
He'll get this one. Incarnation's backing him up, Balls off on the side as well.
But that's what they need. Continuously clear so they can actually use those engages that they're looking to fight with.
Gravity avoiding grouping up.
Again.
Cloud9, there we go. Finally, Hanser finds an opening because Balls has left top lane for a very long time. He was hanging out mid lane. They were looking for something. They got nothing for it. All they did was lose a turret. And now, they're actually just shoving mid lane now with Move and Keen. Minions will hit the turret, but that's going to bring High around the mid too, just to cover it, just in case they were still hanging out. He gets the crossover. Yeah, they don't have the ward coverage just yet. Gravity needs to move their ward line further forward. Now that Bunny Fufu has his Sightstone completed, it's going to be easier for him to do that on a consistent basis.
You're right about the Zeeks on Lemon Nation. You can see the 2 ability tomes coming out there, so that a huge boost for Sneaky once they can finally get that item finished. Lemon Nation's sitting on only 300 gold right now, so they have a ways to go. Still need the Glacial Shroud and the completion of the item, but definitely worth it once you get there. You should see that around 21, 22 minutes for him, especially with global gold coming in right now from Sneaky. This finally allows Cloud9 to put the power of their team into the mid lane if necessary.
That's the only tier 1 remaining.
Yep, both sides as well, so it's going to be a pretty explosive fight. Both teleports are up. Pretty good skirmish out of this one.
Dragon's up in a minute. I Everybody has pink wards in their inventories. There's 7 pink wards in inventories at the moment, ready to be placed down. Let's see who gets the better vision on this objective before they start it up. It's crucial coming into this, because if this Yasuo, this Incarnation, ends up getting a really good ultimate off. Or, nice.
Definitely something they needed.
Yeah,
out of that.
That arrow will not be up in time for Dragon. It'll have about 40 seconds where it's down while Dragon is up. So if Cloud9 wants to force their way into that objective or look for a play on Altec.
Like I said,
might get
TPs
more
are
out
up.
of
This could get explosive. Altec back
Incarnation
up.
on the wrong side of this. He was coming from the flank.
Whoa, walking into the fog of war means he is going to be going down. Gravity still uses a bit to get there. Lemonation and High came over the wall. Sneaky now in a fight with Balls giving him a bit of assistance from the side. They actually have pretty good positioning here. I think Sneaky just got popped out of his jump. He's stuck on that side of the wall now. Bunny Fufu with the blaze, but Gravity can't start the damage. Now Haunter comes back in. Nars out at the perfect time. Takes down Balls. No, it's going to have to be a finished headbutt coming in from Bunny Fufu. Flash pulverized from him. Another play from the Cow, and it looks like the chase will go on. This could take a little bit. Keen's almost out of mana, and High looks like he could toss himself out of that one. This should be the kill, the hit down. He's going to get hyper on this one. Haunter should pick up another kill, and he takes down Lemon Nation. The coast-to-coast fight in Gravity's favor.
Gravity might get even more off of this. They get priority on the Dragon. They get to ward it up. They get to spend all those wards, and they walk away with just a team fight victory altogether. But Cloud9 is still up in gold, ever so slightly though.
Yep. Making sure they got those turrets down. Bit of the lead in their lanes in CS.
If he gets a
this
crit
is
here.
going to be good money. They'll bring it even closer. Gravity Field locks him down. The item made for the team saves Keen's life.
That was ridiculous.
Sometimes you just you go for the play, and it's that close. It's that close.
I had him. The guy was ticking.
I had him if he didn't shield and flash and exhaust and do all that. I had him.
You know what's funny is if he had actually moved backwards instead of forwards, he may have been out of range of Keen casting the Q to get the shield.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because the Ignite was still ticking on him, and the shield saved his life.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
I also like what Altec's doing. He's building his own Zeeks. Now he's
Double gloves.
Double gloves, trying to get his crit out. But that's fine. He's just recipeing together what he needs.
Arrow?
The arrow across.
Split
Ooh.
him.
Just to chill.
Way more conscious of the arrow this time for Cloud9. They get themselves pick up there. Oh, they're gonna walk right back into them though.
Oh, it's your own jungle. It's not warded. The death of Cloud9 comes in once again by Gravity being in the right place at the right time. Sneaky jumps away when he makes sure there's nothing that can stop his exit. And the house gets hit, bringing in the kitchen sink. Haunter with another throw, he hits him. The volley comes through, and Gravity is going through the batting order of Cloud9, fight after fight now.
It's crazy because Gravity, we usually think of them near the end of the season and the split. Altec is a huge part of their damage. Well, Keen and Haunter have been stepping up immensely. Last game, Keen did almost twice as much damage as anybody else in the entire game. This game, he's looking to be on par for that. Zonya's completed, ready to deal with Incarnation, ready to just use his upgraded perfect Hex Core.
The Vision is awarding them everything that they're getting right now. It looks like a light bright in the bottom side of the jungle that they just fought in. And that's Cloud9's. They were just walking through there, completely dark. So let's look at this again.
Yeah, that's actually Sneaky Scrying Orb there. So they didn't see them just barely off the side, and the wards that had been placed there off to the right of Haunter gave them the advantage coming into this. Cloud9, it looked like they were trying to come through. They were trying to make sure if Gravity were going to their tier 1 mid turret that they could cut them off. But they didn't have adequate vision of it, and the Scrying Orb was just a little off. He was trying to check the brush if they were camping in it, but instead they were just a little bit off at that point, and then they engage afterwards.
Love it when a team just continues to put their foot down, know they have an advantage, and continue to pressure that. The wards now move up, as you said before in last game, Zyrene. They start to focus the top side of the map now. In exit or entry, they have a way in and out of these fights. The arrow is about to be another catalyst for one of those. It does not hit though.
Looking at the AD carries, these arrows have not been making contact for Altec all game long, but that's the thing, you just need one. You just need one late game.
Zeke's is done.
Yep, Zeke's is done as well. It's funny because the best AD carry item in the game is a support item. And it's completed for elimination. Bunny Fufu once again going for the longer route. It looks like it might be a righteous glory for him in the future.
Yeah.
Looking pretty engaged, looking to get into that back line. Incarnation's going to come to them, though. Incarnation has the split push power now. He has the Trinity Force and the Static Shiv.
There, yeah.
I do like the Trinity.
Kind of the explosion moment for them peaking here. If they can get a good fight and Keen would be deleted. Hopefully get him before the Zanyas.
Yeah,
a lot of
so hard.
A lot of ifs though.
Yeah.
Come into this fight here, and Gravity look like they want to take one fight more than Cloud9 at this point.
And you can see Hanser adapting his build. Last game, he built for the lane and for the mid lane as well, because he was up against a Rumble as well as a Victor.
Yeah.
Or a Rumble and a Diana. So it was a Spectre's Cowl as well as a Hex Drinker early on and a Banshee's. Now, he's built a little bit for the lane. He got the Hex Drinker just to punish balls, and then he went full armor. Ninja Tabi, Thornmail, Randuin's. 100% building against the team now because he knows he's going to be grouping up. He doesn't even care about split pushing against Balls too much. Balls is a team fight champion. Go ahead, build for the team fight. Look at this, I'll take out a position.
Oh, what a grab! That's all
man.
high on the bandage toss. Can the team follow through though? A good disengage from Bunny Fufu and the explosive cast, but they lose Alltech, his second death of the game, and he has been a big facilitator of the fights with arrows here. Let's see what Cloud9 does.
They're going to go for it though. Move
They
off on the
still
side.
have move that can body slam through. Also has flash to get out of this situation. He's going to make that call to the team. 1:50 on the Dragon after this
They don't
as
have a way to
well.
keep him out. They have to fight.
They're going to instantly kill Bunny Fufu. Maybe stay on that. High is trying to still go for Baron. Do they have enough to fight spread out like this?
Sneaky.
They're spreading themselves a little too thin. High decides the bandage toss in. They get the knockup, the double kill for Sneaky, and they all decide to go in together. It took a few seconds though.
Yep, the nice bait onto the Baron there. There was no way to keep Move out of the pit. You didn't have adequate vision control. You could have warded over and possibly buster shotted him out, but that's a risk that they weren't willing to take.
Just fighting.
Exactly. They went straight for Bunny Fufu. They knew they could take him out. And Incarnation still had his ultimate. He was good to go. Big team fight win there for Cloud9. Now they are up 400 gold. This game has just been neck and neck, back and forth. Golden Age.
The Golden Age. Zion and crew enjoying the match from in-house. Second game here. Gravity still trying to hold their momentum from game number one as we see this engage again. High and a few stay back, which made this a bit scary at first.
Oh man, Sneaky with the crits there at the start. And then his Zeke's turns online, but Keen walks too far forward. Keen on this Victor, mid-range mage, playing it like a short-range mage. Playing it very up in people's faces. He got punished game one by the just edge of the Curse of the Sad Mummy. This game, too far forward, hit by an exhaust. Pretty much the same story coming into that fight. Still neck and neck in this game.
Yep. If you have that power, your Victor, you think, well, I'm just going to unload on this squishy person real quick, and they're completely out of the fight. But not predicting the bandage toss from inside Baron Pit. Caught him right off guard. Dragon game, a little different here from game one as well. 3 dragons quickly to Gravity. Cloud9's been able to kind of stick their foot in that door of their achievement of 5 dragons here. So that game is fizzled out a bit. It's still going to be a way for Cloud9 to group up Gravity and get these fights though.
Yeah, Sneaky far enough ahead though on this Cloud9 squad that he has the last Whisper already. Third item has the Zeke's Harbinger, and he's able to crit and shred through a lot of the armor that Hanser's bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Looks like Hanser's even going to go for a Sunfire Cape next. He's just stacking so much armor.
Yeah,
Hanser
wants
wants to be this amazing frontliner.
Once he gnars out, he gets everything else he needs, and resistance is in being a tank, so he's perfectly fine to do that. He's been in the fights each time he needs to with that gnar bar at full. 3-0-4 in the game as well. Keeping on par with that Lulu farm in the top lane from Balls. The arrow goes out.
There you go.
Wind wall at the last second. Still allows Gravity to be a bit aggressive. You see
that's not where you want to be, High.
Gnarring out. High can still take a significant amount of damage here to make this happen. The teleport go from the top to the mid. And it looks like we're going to have Balls now joining the team. They can get a bigger pressure here on the mid lane, but is it a flank here from Gravity? Do they pinch in Cloud9?
Oh, movement speed?
Gotta go fast.
They got
Electric
Altec!
shield.
He doesn't have mana!
No ultimate for that mana coming from High. He's going to delete it down. Wild growth onto him. Everything's right now in defense for Cloud9, but it's enough to pressure off Gravity. These guys are fighting on the wrong side of the map for each other. This is going to allow Cloud9 to take down a turret while tiptoeing through a fight here from Gravity. Will the skirmish actually happen? Last breath from the Q, not going to connect. Move goes in, flash body slam, Incarnation in, out. Gives himself the give and go to get to safety. That's the ult against the wall. High was the only one not included. Sneaky and High, about 400 combined health. Victor, the plays from Keen and the rest of the team to get a triple kill on Cloud9.
Oh man, they pushed too far forward on Cloud9's squad. High jumps in with the Q. The ultimate costs 150 mana, and he did not have that in the tank. He got to Altec and he was like, what do I do now? And then they turn the fight around and they keep them on the ropes the entire time. Triple kill for Keen, 6-1 and 4 on this Victor. The solo lanes of Gravity have been stepping up. It is not the Altec show today.
Crazy plays coming in from Gravity to assess these fights. Cloud9 as well, you'd have to feel that they were feeling completely pressured. Once you take that turret down and nothing has happened, but you're being sized up more and more, losing a bit of HP, it's almost like exit stage left. Everybody, let's go. But they stayed. Difficult decision to make. Turret goes down in your favor, you pick a bit up, you don't want to leave empty-handed.
Oh man.
Move. Forcing the engage though.
Yeah,
they almost had
Bunny
to do something.
Foo Foo, triple man into the 4-man Gnar here.
Wha-blam!
And then just give him a laser right across. The wombo combo there in a small area. Set up perfectly by Bunny Foo Foo. This is where we're going. This is the engage we're taking. Even if they hadn't have died at that point, the gravity field was on top of the wall up, so they would have been stunned again. That's an amazing wombo combo right there from Gravity.
It was pretty crazy.
But everything all said and done, you get the Baron. Gold's even. No team is getting a huge solid advantage over the other in this series.
So I was just looking at what highest mana was when he jumped into this, and it was 20 mana short.
Yeah, he was so
from
short.
what he needed.
Yeah, when I was watching him walk up, I was like, I don't know if he actually has enough to do both.
So difficult. 120, 150. Just a little bit short on that combination.
Gets expensive.
It's real expensive. Doesn't look like they want to stop fighting though. The minion wave just gets into place. Fast fingers from High, actually error in the ult of Curse of the Sad Mummy there, and it looks like he may be the one to get taken out. They're still trying to pressure themselves to the limit, and it's starting to cause too many errors. Can't blame them for trying.
Yeah, another weakness of Amumu. When you're in, you're in.
You're in.
You're not getting out.
You are definitely in. He found that out quite quick. Gravity able to quickly pick him off without really any skirmish ensuing after that. And now Gravity can once again move those wards forward. Confident enough to place these pink wards down that they can defend for the next 30, 40 seconds. Take a turret and use them to escape.
Yeah, they have the Baron buff, so sieging these turrets is incredibly easy for them. Especially since when you opt into having Yasuo mid lane, you lose your wave clear.
Yeah.
Lulu is your wave clear at this point, and he's on a Rod of Ages Morellonomicon that's not even close to enough in the Glitterlands cooldown to actually clear out these melee minions that are Baron buffed up.
The thing that's working out for Gravity as well, these side waves are nicely pushed for them once they get up to the turrets. These fights resulting in more gold coming into the team as well. Not everybody has to be there. Altec get a quick push on some minions on the top side. Clear out the jungle, and Gravity will set up once again, taking control of Game 2 here in the North American Regionals. Looking very good.
Yeah, up to a 3,000 gold lead now. I think the biggest gold lead of this game.
Yep. Yeah, it only bloomed to like 4, not even 5K, 4.5 last game.
Yeah.
And Cloud9 was able to teeter it back and forth and try and gain it back. It's kind of keeping them a saving grace just a little bit. They still have an engage we haven't seen. Everybody just nail the engagement, get into a huge fight. Concerts and Move's ultimate has just been dispersing anything C9 puts on the table.
That's the thing, they're going for this Amumu pick, but like you said, they're not getting the dream ultimate.
Yeah.
You pretty much only need one, and then you turn the game completely around. But it hasn't happened in games 1 and 2. I don't think we've seen anything except for whiffs and maximum 2-man ultimates here from High. I don't think he's captured more than 2 people in his ultimate all series long.
Well, Zanya's coming out, and Quicksilver Sash is for Altec. It's only going to be that much harder for High, to get a priority target and lock him up long enough for Incarnation to knock them up as well. You're right on the Righteous Glory here for Bunny Foo Foo. That allows them to get into fights if necessary.
When you're dealing with this death cap, though, this death cap, perfect hex core, Zonias for Keen, the 6-1 and 5 Victor. If he gets a full combo off on a Sneaky who does have some magic resistance with the QSS, it's still going to 100-0 him if you get him with every single ability.
And I wonder what the priority is going to be on that next game, depending on what results from here. Incarnation, semi-good Victor throughout the season, had a 1 or 2 carry games, otherwise pretty much even.
I am extremely surprised they're not early picking the Victor over
Yeah.
Keen, even though he's getting the counter pick. Maybe he has a counter pick for Victor. Maybe that's it. If you take it away, he's got something. But still, you want to test that.
Maybe. They could be flowing with what happened at the end of the season. You saw Ari kind of picks coming from Incarnation. A few more assassin picks in there, and then he's stuck with the Diana, still going towards the Yasuo. Maybe that's just what he's geared towards it right now, towards this regionals. Doesn't seem to be picking up the kills. Hasn't stopped him from trying the 1v1s, though. Definitely a lot more push in Incarnation's gameplay than what we saw in the beginning of the season. Not as reserved, that's for sure. Pushing up for the team now in the mid lane. 0-3-4 for him, but still everybody standing tall, ready for the fight. High is just on the wing. You're gonna wait for him to pick up something. Maybe smite out actually Wolf. Nope, doesn't smite it, just grabbing it. Figure they're trying to pick up more vision in the jungle for themselves.
Yeah, at this point in the game, you only smite things like Raptors.
Right.
Sometimes you smite Wolves when they're on your side.
That's what I was wondering. He
You
just
usually
wanted
want to save it for the actual engage so you can get that down, because he's got the Stalker's Blade.
That's true. That's a good point. Don't want to just use it willy-nilly. Target's still going to be difficult to hit with the way the gravity is coming in here.
I do like this from Balls, though. He's got himself a Luden's Echo, so he's a bit of a damage threat on this move. He'll be doing a bit of damage to Haunter. Of course, when you are this type of mage, you really like to focus squishies. If somebody has one magic resist item like Haunter, he has enough HP in his tank to actually tank a lot of your damage. So the HP is pretty effective against these mages who have bursts and long cooldowns.
Doesn't hurt that he always comes in Mega Gnar.
Yeah, that's true. Also, his last teleport, even though there was one kill off of it that happened in the mid lane and it was High, who went too far forward, his teleport stopped Cloud9 from actually reinforcing High position. So Haunter so far in this series, 3-0-8 in this game, and his TPs have been on point as well.
When he can play aggressive and go hard, and I'm actually surprised it's happening here because he's not Black Cleaver Naring going like he would just killing people on a hacker room, because that's what he did in the beginning of the season, right? He was high damage, fighting all the time, pushing his top laner out.
He's playing for team fights.
Yep.
I like that, though. That's a good point to bring up, because
switch it up.
Whenever I see an R, it's always that toss-up. Is he going to go the Black Cleaver? But there really isn't anybody on this team you want to shred their armor for.
Definitely bringing what the team needs when they need it. 3-0-8 this game. Keen carrying the mid lane 6-1-5. Gravity's solo lanes really making this game flow through the mid very easily. Looks like they're going to be able to hold here as we get towards the late game as well. Cloud9's been building up Sneaky a bit. He has his own Quicksilver Sash as well as the Mikhails from Lemonation, so he could really put down some damage if he's focused regularly in these next fights.
And it's the Baron and Dragon both up here, but Scuttle has been taken by Gravity, so they're able to see where Cloud9 is when they walk up to it. This is the 100% crit build for Incarnation and Sneaky when his Zeke's is on. So both these guys are going to be dishing out immense physical damage numbers in team fights. So watch the positioning of where High's ultimate is, and if Incarnation can actually get a multi-man ultimate off.
Two good exhausts as well from Gravity could shut down a lot of the damage from Cloud9. A back and forth. Trade about 1,000 damage across the board between both teams. Nobody's really too hurt here to start the fight. Haunter's going to have a perfect Gnar bar. Looks like they will not be able to use it other than pressure down the mid lane. Pings go down for Gravity. They want to try to rout Cloud9 here and get there first. I don't know if it's going to be much damage, though.
Ooh. Sneaky had a nice shield.
Like,
I know.
Felt the pain there?
I haven't seen the laser hit in a little bit. I don't know how much damage it's going to do to him.
That's true. Sometimes you have to be very wary of what's going to happen.
He was double shielded as well, so it didn't hurt him that badly.
All right, they back out. No fight going to come from that. They're still, however, going to try.
They did see Sneaky bot, though.
Yeah, they're going to try to dance this one out for Baron. Sneaky coming up. Incarnation's taking quite a bit of health. He pretty much has last breath and then death if he does go into this fight after that point.
This is a big advantage here for Gravity coming into it. High, though.
They Pink warded him over the wall. They have one in the bottom side. High does have vision on Baron. 4,700 HP, 3,300. Move's going to stay in.
Gonna knock back.
Oh,
It's too early,
out.
too
It's
early,
way too
too
early.
early.
High goes in.
Oh.
It's still going to be Moves. He was just too far off for the smite to happen, and it looks like the fight will ensue. High is in a bad spot, but nobody even pays attention to him. Haunter dives to the back line, and they start shredding Cloud9. Sneaky just a few more hits. The house to come in from Haunter.
He's killing himself.
One last throw takes him down. A double kill as well for Keen on the backside. A double kill for Haunter as they roll through Cloud9.
The clean ace for Gravity, and they pick up the Baron. They saw the Sneaky was bottom lane. He was going to get to that fight a little bit later, and they chunked out Incarnation at the start via Altec. No way Cloud9 was going to walk away from that fight unscathed, and they walk away in the worst possible way. Every single member down.
What a fight from Gravity, considering Move's cask was used to defy the smite. They could still win after that with the rest of the abilities they had in the tank. Now onto the Nexus turrets, and now on to Game 3. What can Cloud9 bring out to keep themselves in the series? The first North American Regionals looks like it might be going to Gravity as they're 2-0 over Cloud9.
You can see High there on his player cam near the end of the game. Has a lot of thinking to do coming into this Game 3. You are down 2-0. You have to reverse sweep to keep your dream of worlds alive again for the third consecutive time for Cloud9.
Still talking calmly with the team on headsets as they take a breather after this game, discussing what may have went wrong in the end and what can go right for the next games, because it has to off of the bat. Gravity having any sort of lead, 1 to 2K, it may not grow fast, but eventually it's 4K, and 4K has been enough for them to pretty much win the game so far. Fantastic play there, and we were talking about communication earlier. Cloud9 got that back with High. See if they can find it again here in the series.
This is a different look at Gravity that we're seeing here.
Absolutely.
Talk about how Altec does so much of the team's damage where most frequently. He's actually less damage than Haunter this game, and he's less than 50% of the damage that Keen dealt this game. So Keen is stepping up to the table immensely, as well as Haunter, and Move's early pressure is putting High in, is in a strange place in terms of shot calling, because when you don't have early pressure as a shot caller, you wait, you hold on, they get early pressure on you, then you're calling from behind, and that is a situation that you never want to be in. I know it sounds very cliche and we hear it all the time, but it is definitely harder to shot call from behind, and you are not making your job easy. You're looking for these wombo combos that are not happening, and you're not getting them.
It's so much harder. Silence is chaos, and even as a shot caller, when 1 or 2 things don't go right, you feel bad. You don't want to make call number 3 or call number 4. You're almost looking for somebody else to come up with an answer, but gotta stay true. You gotta stay team captain. We'll see what both teams can do going into the next one. Very hard fought by Gravity so far. Let's send it over to our analyst to see what they make of Gravity's 2-0 start.
Thank you, gentlemen. Well, we saw some change, but we still saw that Amumu come through. So I want to attack that first, because I know we have some issues with the way the Amumu is being played out.
Yeah. Well, for me, I feel like High is actually making a lot of mistakes on Amumu, which is just compounding the weaknesses that Amumu already has. Like, we were talking about the windows of engagement that High and the rest of Cloud9 are having trouble filling. So, like, he uses ultimate, they get 1 kill. They're not chaining it into an objective. But outside of that, there are moments where High is wasting his mana so he can't have an extended fight, burning his flash defensively so he can't use it to actually have a team fight at the end of the game. And it feels like he's a little bit on tilt, as well as already playing a champion who is not standard for the competitive scene.
Yeah, and one of the big things about the Mumu Engage is that in these scenarios, it's so telegraphed that the Mumu is just walking up, and basically what Gravity is doing, they're just putting their tanks in front of him and trying to like keep him off their carries. And the Mumu actually never gets a chance to get on the important targets and follow up with Lulu ulti and Yasuo combo. Yep. So a part of it is it's kind of hard to execute if you lack the vision control, and then I would like to see some more engage from other people. It can be in the top lane, it can be on the support role. So it's actually easier to execute for the team.
No, Freak, the problems with engagement were only exacerbated by the fact that Cloud9 was losing pretty horribly in terms of vision through the mid game.
Yeah, so a couple of interesting things, and to kind of go back to Amumu again, even though I like the champion, Jat, you were talking off camera before we got into the game, or during the game when we weren't on camera, about Amumu's not a good sightstone jungler, a little bit because he can't like ward deeply and get away with it, right? He's not a Gragas or Rexel who can leave on their own, so you don't get to deep ward much on Amumu, and we actually saw that compound a lot. So there was the like level 8 mid gank by Sneaky, which he goes in for the rocket jump and a buster shot to set up Yasuo, but Alistar's here, and Gragas too, and they're on pink wards, it's hard to clear away. But unfortunately, that got turned around. About 50 minutes in, they go for a big fight on the right-hand side of the map, and again, the entire team of Gravity is there first, before Cloud9, because again, the ward coverage isn't there, it's all fog of war. C9 goes for a risk, the risk doesn't pay off multiple times in this game, and these sort of aggressive moves are failing. And that's honestly very hard for C9 to deal with right there, and it feels like these aggressive moves are not paying out. That compounded with individual misplays, you're talking about the misplays from high. Sneaky is missing buster shots on like a leap into crunch Gnar, which gives you like a second and a half to buster shot him, and it's still coming in late. Like these are also misplays that are compounding the issues these teams are facing.
All right, well, let's look across to the other side of the rift, because we're ragging, of course, on Cloud9, but there are some great things happening over on the side of Gravity.
Yeah.
First, I want to start with Keen on the Victor. Both games here, impressive score line, lots of damage, highest damage dealt in the game coming from him both times.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see this get banned away. They're already banning away Zergot. That's cool. They banned away the Lulu as well. That could have been a Hollister ban as well, but CN are clearly throwing in some respect bans, and right, with these guys able to first pick, C9 can really, really control what's allowed into the game. I think almost more so than Gravity can. And, you know, you're seeing Gravity do very well for themselves. Keen needs to get his Victor removed. He's clearly doing well in it.
Yeah, and in the last game even, Keen kind of had one main job, stay away from High's Bandage Toss and Ultimate. And if he does that, the damage from Victor is going to be enough to clear out the non-existent front line because it's just the one baby Amumu going in there. And one of the big questions we thought coming into this series was whether or not Incarnation was going to be one of the top flight mid laners as he was towards the end of the regular season, whether the time off was going to be a larger improvement for him, and whether Keen was going to be able to recover, because his image took a giant hit during the playoffs. He was pretty badly defeated by TSM in their playoff series, and people kind of thought this was the end of Keen, but he's playing quite well this series.
Yeah.
And one of the good points about how well Gravity is actually playing is that they have this triple tank line with, it has been Gnar and Gragas now, and then with Braum in the first game and then Alistar in the second game, is that they're playing really well together. They're finding the engagements, they're following up with, I think this game it was Alistar combo into Gnar follow-up, and when you can execute this properly, it's just very, very solid combo. And I think that is probably one of the reasons why they're doing so well in the team fights.
Seemingly operating 1 second ahead of Cloud9 in all of their calls.
Yeah. And again, a lot of this is, I think Bunny's actually a very good shot caller. Again, we're talking about the disparity in shot calling is getting closer against High. Move seems to be roughly back on form. His vision control is super good. And we were talking about how game 1 was close. Maybe you don't change things around. C9 definitely needs to break apart this team composition. Without Victor, it's much harder to run Ashe. I want to see this get broken up. I want to see Gravity forced to play something else, because this comp is working.
I do want to jump into our replay 39 minutes into the game. We're at the Baron pit, 5-0 for Gravity here. And we're kind of going to return to your point about the defensive flashing on Amumu and where it would have been useful in this scenario.
Yeah. Cloud9 is putting all their eggs in one basket here. The only way they find successful team fights is if High lands a juicy ultimate. And here would have been his opportunity if he had flash. You just bandage to the Baron, flash, and hit everyone. As it is, though, Gravity knows there is no flash on High, so they do not respect the Amumu coming in here. And also, since there's such poor wave clear on Cloud9, Cloud9 knows if they give out the Baron, that they're probably losing an inhibitor anyway, so of course they go straight into the fight. They're late to the fight, High, the lone frontliner, is easily focused, and notice how Bunny completely zones Sneaky from that fight. It's not even a zone, he actually combos so that they can kill him, instead of just hitting him away. And the threats of Cloud9 can just never enter. The triple front line that Trashy mentioned, very effective in this fight, but also the single point of failure as far as Cloud9's initiation with High was punished for not having flash.
Also, one of the things we see here is that they actually communicate really well on Gravity. We see High going in, and instantly the Gnar turns on the Amumu to peel him, and they just keep him in the area. And then after that, when they know that the Amumu can't engage, they just turn on their backline.
Yeah,
so very good execution.
Yeah, that triple tank line really being super effective. The Alistar being able to effectively 1v4 zone off to the side while the Gragas and the Gnar peel for the 2 carries in the back line. Without that flash, there's no way Amumu's getting to him. Well, Gravity just need one more win against Cloud9 to close out this series. We'll see if they can make it a 3-0 when we come back. The North American Regional Qualifier continues in just 3.5.
Let's see, what are all the little mannerisms we sometimes have trouble with?
I'm gonna get solo killed.
Yeah, solo killed is a problem, so let's try to not die.
I'm gonna get solo killed.
Oh, you're gonna get solo killed?
I'm going to.
Okay, that's fine. That's cool. That's respectable.
Bunny Fufu, level 5. Why not go on him? He doesn't have any way to break the CC or ult out. High in a bad spot, though.
Karma. Slowly.
I stopped Trace.
Trace and no W.
Yo, I'm here.
Can you Trace?
Trace. Nice. Kill Alstar. You got peel.
I'm ulting you.
I'm coming over. I'm stunning hot. Keen. I lock it into us.
Gives himself the give and go to get to safety. That's the ult against the wall. High was the only one not included. Sneaky and High, about 400 combined health. Haunter dives to the back line and they start shredding Cloud9. Sneaky just a few more hits. The house to come in from Haunter.
He's killing himself.
One last throw takes him down. The first North American Regionals looks like it might be going to Gravity as they're 2-0 over Cloud9.